Morning students, in previous class we have defined capacitance, then we have seen a device called capacitor. Then we have also seen two type of capacitor, one was spherical capacitor and another was parallel plate capacitor. In a spherical capacitor we have seen two type of capacitor, one was isolated conductor. For isolated conductor capacitance was 4 pi epsilon naught R. And another was enclosed conductor. For an enclosed conductor, inner radius was A, outer radius was B, and the capacitance was A times B divided by K into B minus A. K again can be written as 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught, so you can write this thing as 4 pi epsilon naught AB divided by B minus A. Remember, here we have earthed the outer shell like this. Here the capacitance has become B divided by B minus A times, which is greater than 1. So, here capacitance has increased. Then we have seen parallel plate capacitor. In parallel plate capacitor we have said that two plates which are parallel to each other the area of the plates is A and the distance between the plates is D, and if you connect these plates with a battery, now battery will take Q charge from this plate to and deposit on this plate. So, here on this plate the charge will be minus Q, on this plate the charge will be plus Q. And so, you can see here the charge separation is there. So, here there will be electric field. So, direction of electric field will be like this. Then we have derived the formulas for these things. We can write the charge density on one of the plate is Q divided by A. If you are taking the positive plate, then it will be plus Q divided by A. If you are taking the negative charge, then it will be minus Q by A. Then between the capacitor plates, the electric field was sigma divided by epsilon naught. Remember, this is the net electric field between the capacitor plates. The direction of electric field is from the positive plate to the negative plate, and the net electric field is sigma by 2 epsilon naught. Electric field due to one of the plate will be sigma divided by 2 epsilon naught. Next thing, if you are applying the potential here V, this potential V can be written as sigma epsilon naught into D. As you can see here, electric field is constant. So, if the electric field is constant, potential can be written as this. So, here potential difference between the capacitor plate is sigma D divided by epsilon naught. From these we have found out the capacitance of parallel plate capacitor, which was epsilon naught A divided by D. As I told in the previous class also, capacitance does not depend on the charge of the conductor and it does not depend on the voltage or potential of the conductor. It only depends on the shape, size and medium of the capacitor. After this, we have derived another formula, which is energy stored in the capacitor. Energy stored in the capacitor we have found out to be half CV square, which can be written as QV divided by 2, or this can also be written as Q square divided by 2C. So, in the previous class we have done till this now, and another thing is, if the Q charge is flowing from here to here, the work done by battery we have seen, which was Q into V. So, the work done by battery or energy provided by the battery is Q into V, while the energy stored in the capacitor is only QV by 2. So, remaining half of the amount is gone into the heat. So, when you are charging a capacitor, the amount of heat produced will be equals to the energy stored in the capacitor, or you can say half of the energy provided by the battery goes into the heat. So, in the last class we have covered these things. These are the important formula which you should memorize. So, let us continue with the energy stored in the capacitor. So, you have a capacitor, charge on this one plus Q, charge on this one minus Q, electric field is from positive plate to negative plate, magnitude is constant, direction is also constant. Potential difference you can assume V, there is no medium, so here you can assume there is vacuum here right now. So, capacitance of this one is epsilon naught A divided by D. Area of the plate is A, distance between the plates is D. Now, so the capacitance is epsilon naught A by D. energy of the capacitor I can write as half C V square. Now here C is the capacitance of the capacitor, V is the potential difference across the capacitor. Now here charge on the capacitor is Q, area is A, so again sigma is equals to Q divided by A. Now let us replace the value of C and V which we have already seen. So the capacitor can be written as 1 by 2 into epsilon naught A divided by D, and the potential can be written as sigma by epsilon naught into D. So from here V square can be written as sigma square into D square divided by epsilon naught square. From here epsilon naught will cancel out, d will cancel out, so you will get 1 by 2 into sigma square divided by epsilon naught into A into D. 1 by 2 sigma square divided by epsilon naught into A into D. Now here this area into distance between the plates. So the area of the plates is A, distance between the plate is D, so I can say this is the volume of the capacitor. So this term A into D can be written as volume of the capacitor. So from here I will get U is equals to 1 by 2 into sigma square divided by epsilon naught into volume of the capacitor. From here if I divide this both the terms by volume, I will get then energy divided by volume, which is defined as energy density. So I am going to use a new symbol for this. Again remember here this is energy, this is energy density, which is energy divided by volume of the capacitor, which can be written as 1 by 2, or you can write this thing as sigma square divided by epsilon naught. So this is the energy density of the capacitor. So you have to remember one more formula. Energy you already know, energy can be written as half CV square, or it can be written as 1 by 2 into sigma square by epsilon naught into A into D, where A is the cross sectional area of the plates and D is the distance between the plates, which is basically volume. So energy divided by volume is energy density. The formula for energy density is sigma square divided by 2 epsilon naught. Now as you can see, this is sigma square by epsilon naught. If I multiply this term by epsilon naught and I divide it by epsilon naught, this will become sigma square by epsilon naught square into epsilon naught. So I can write energy density as sigma square divided by epsilon naught, or I can write this thing as sigma by epsilon naught square into epsilon naught. From this is 1 by 2 also here. So this will be 1 by 2 into sigma square divided by epsilon naught into epsilon naught. Sigma by epsilon naught is nothing but the electric field, which is E is equals to sigma by epsilon naught. So this I can write it as E square. So from here energy density, there will be one more formula, which is epsilon naught into E square. So this is the formula, another formula for energy density of the capacitor. You have to remember both the formulas. One formula is sigma square divided by 2 epsilon naught, and this can be again written as 1 by 2 epsilon naught E square. This is the energy density, energy is the sigma square by 2 epsilon naught into the volume. In this chapter there are only formulas are important. If you understand the formula, then you can do maximum number of problems just using the formulas only. Now here the question comes, this is the energy, but this energy is stored in the which form? Kinetic energy or potential energy? Here this is the potential energy of the capacitor, and this energy is stored in the form of electric field. So if the question comes that the energy is stored in the capacitor in which form? So the energy is stored in the form of electric field. Electric field is the between the capacitor plates. So energy is only confined here. Here energy is 0, here outside the capacitor energy is 0. All the energy is only energy is only stored between the capacitor plate, which is this, and energy density formula is sigma square by 2 epsilon naught or half epsilon naught E square. So next heading is force between capacitor plates. So as we already know, parallel plate capacitor, there are two plates. On one plate there is charge q, on another plate the charge is minus q. Now as you know that if the charge is positive, this charge is negative, so there will be force of attraction between these two plates. So we have to find the force between the capacitor plates. Now if I assume this plate is not there, only one single plate is there and the charge on this single plate is q and area of this plate is A, then I can write charge density as q by A. From here, so the charge density is sigma is equals to q divided by A. At this point, if I ask you the electric field due to this plate, the electric field will be sigma by 2 epsilon naught. Again remember, this is the electric field due to one single plate. The net electric field between the capacitor plate is sigma by epsilon naught. Now at this point, electric field is sigma by 2 epsilon naught. So if I keep a minus q charge at this point, this minus charge is going to experience a force. The force can be written as q into E. We already know electrostatic force experienced by a charge can be written as charge into the electric field. So at every point the charge is placed is q and the electric field is E. So the force between the capacitor plates can be written as q, which is charge into electric field, which is sigma divided by 2 epsilon naught. And from here you can write a sigma as q divided by A. So from here, or you can multiply this by A, you can divide this by A, both the formulas are correct. So you can write this thing as q square divided by 2A epsilon naught. So this is the force between the capacitor plates. Now as you can see, the force between the capacitor plate depends on the charge on the plates. It also depends on the area of the plates. It also depends on the medium of the plate between the plates, but it does not depend on the distance between the plates. So remember this, the force between capacitor plates does not depend on the distance between the plates. Doesn't matter what is the distance between these two plates, both the plates are going to experience the force, which is q square divided by 2A epsilon naught. So now that we know that the force between the capacitor plates can be written as q square divided by 2A epsilon naught. From this formula, which is sigma is equals to q divided by A, I can write q is equals to sigma times A. So if I replace this value in this formula, I will get F is equals to sigma square A square divided by 2A epsilon naught. This again I can write sigma square divided by 2 epsilon naught into A. So the force between the capacitor plates, another formula is sigma square divided by 2 epsilon naught times A. Now if I divide both the side by A, I will get force divided by area, which is equals to sigma square divided by 2 epsilon naught. Now the force, this F is the force experienced by this plate and this A is the area of this plate, and you know the force divided by area is also called as pressure. Now this pressure is experienced by this plate, so this is also called as electrostatic pressure. So we have one more formula which is called as electrostatic pressure. The formula for electrostatic pressure is sigma square divided by 2 epsilon naught. Now just now we have seen this formula earlier also. This formula was for energy density. So energy density and electrostatic pressure, both of them have same formula. Remember here sigma square by 2 epsilon naught is the electrostatic pressure on this plate, and sigma square by 2 epsilon naught is also the energy between the plates, but the quantities are different. Formula is all the same, but the quantities are different. You have to remember this. So energy density can be written as sigma square divided by 2 epsilon naught or it can be written as half epsilon naught E square, where E is the electric field between the capacitor plates. Similarly, electrostatic pressure. Electrostatic pressure also can be written as sigma square divided by 2 epsilon naught, which again you can write this thing as 1 by 2 into epsilon naught into E square. Again remember, here this E is the electric field between the capacitor plates, total electric field, not the electric field due to one plate. So electrostatic pressure and energy density between the capacitor plates, both of them have same formula. Their meaning is different. So if their formula is same, so their unit and dimension will also be the same. So unit of energy density and unit of pressure are same. So they can ask you this question in the exam: what is the unit of 1 by 2 epsilon naught E square? The unit of 1 by 2 epsilon naught square is equals to the unit of pressure, which is nothing but Pascal or dimension. So these are the basic things which you should know about the capacitor. You should know what is the force between the capacitor plates, what is the energy stored between the capacitor plates, what is the energy density, what is the charge density on one of the plate, and what is the electric field, what is the potential between the plates, and all those. Now we are going to talk about capacitor with dielectric. So till now we were considering that capacitor does not have any medium between the plates. Now we are going to insert a medium or a dielectric slab between the capacitor plates. Now the dielectric medium can be inserted between the capacitor plates with the battery or without the battery. So there will be two cases where there will be one isolated capacitor and another capacitor which will be connected to a battery, and we are going to insert the dielectric slab. So we are going to insert dielectric medium between the capacitor plates in between a isolated capacitor, and another capacitor will be connected to the battery. So first thing is isolated capacitor. So heading is insertion of dielectric medium between plates of isolated capacitor. Now, so isolated capacitor means it is not connected to any other external devices. This capacitor is not connected to any electric device. There is no battery, there is no resistance, there is only a capacitor, and we are going to insert a dielectric medium. So we are going to fill the space between the capacitor plates with a dielectric medium whose relative permittivity is epsilon r. Remember, we have already seen this thing, that permittivity of a medium can be written as relative permittivity of the medium into permittivity of free space. We have done this thing in the electrostatics. So this is the permittivity of medium, this is relative permittivity of the medium, and this is the permittivity of free space. We have derived this formula. And we have also said that this epsilon r, which is the relative permittivity of the medium, is always greater than 1. So now we are going to talk about what happens if you insert a dielectric medium between the plates of the capacitor. Now initially when the dielectric was not inserted, so this is our initial situation. In initial situation there will be charge plus q, here charge will be minus q. So when the there is no medium or the free space is there between the capacitor plates, and after some times we are inserting or filling the gap between the capacitor plates with a dielectric medium of relative permittivity epsilon r. So let us talk about before the insertion of dielectric medium. So I can write initial charge on one of the plate of the capacitor is Q. Capacitance can be written as epsilon naught A divided by D. Electric field can be written as sigma divided by epsilon naught. Potential difference can be written as sigma D divided by epsilon naught. So this is the, I can write this thing as initial. So this is the initial situation. Initially the charge on the capacitor is Q, capacitance is epsilon naught A divided by D, electric field between the capacitor plate is sigma by epsilon naught, and potential between the plate is sigma D divided by epsilon naught. Now let us see what happens if you are inserting a dielectric medium. Now if I insert a dielectric medium, there is not going to be any change on the plates of the capacitor, because there is not going to be any change in the charge on the plates of the capacitor, because this charge is not connected to any external device. So charge transfer is not possible. So here final charge Q final will also be Q. So when you are inserting a dielectric medium between the capacitor plates of a isolated capacitor, charge initial and charge final is same. Now let us talk about the capacitor. Initially the medium between the capacitor plates was vacuum, so initial capacitance was epsilon naught A divided by D. Now we have inserted another medium with relative permittivity epsilon r, so I can write final capacitance as epsilon naught m A divided by D. Remember the capacitance is permittivity of medium into area divided by D. So here permittivity of medium I can write epsilon m, area of the plate is A, distance between the plates is D. So this I can write epsilon m can be from the, here I can write epsilon m is equals to epsilon r epsilon naught A divided by D. So here you can see in this epsilon naught A divided by D is the initial capacitance. So here I can write final capacitance C final will be epsilon r times C initial, and we already know that epsilon r is always greater than 1. So final capacitance will be greater than the initial capacitance. So here if you insert a dielectric slab between the capacitor plates, the capacitance is going to increase. Charge remains same but capacitance increases. So final capacitance is C final is equals to epsilon r C initial. Now let us talk about the what happens to the electric field. Now electric field final can be written as sigma final. Sigma final again can be written as Q divided by A. So here the charge is not changing, so sigma will also not change, area is also not changing, but we are changing the medium between the capacitor plates. So here electric field will also become sigma divided by epsilon naught m. We know this thing that in a medium electric field decreases by a term by a vector of epsilon r. So this can be written as sigma divided by epsilon r into epsilon. Now again sigma by epsilon naught is initial initial electric field. So here this can be written as E initial divided by epsilon r. Again here this is the final electric field, this is initial electric field which is divided by epsilon r, and epsilon r is greater than 1. So here electric field decreases. Final capacitance has increased but electric field has decreased. Now let us talk about what happens to the potential. Potential final can be written as, again sigma final will not change, D is also not changing, only epsilon is changing. This can be written as sigma D divided by epsilon m. This can be written as sigma D divided by epsilon r epsilon naught. Again sigma D divided by epsilon is the final potential, initial potential. So this can be written as V initial divided by epsilon r. So this is the final potential, which is again less than the initial potential. Now here one more thing which we can talk about is potential energy. Potential energy can be written as U is equals to Q square divided by 2C. So this is the initial. So I can write initial potential energy as Q square divided by C initial. Here Q is constant but capacitance is changing, so we have to use this formula, because in this formula only one quantity is changing, both of them are not changing. So here charge remains constant but capacitance is changing, so I can write final potential energy as Q square divided by 2 times C final. And we have already seen what happens to C final. C final has become initial. So C final we have seen is equals to epsilon r times C initial. So from here I can write the value here. So this will be Q square divided by 2 times C initial into epsilon r. Again this Q square divided by 2 initial is the initial potential energy. So here you can write U initial divided by epsilon r. So here as you can see, potential energy also decreases. So these are the final result for the capacitor with a dielectric medium which is isolated. So C initial is equals to epsilon r times C initial, Q final is equals to Q initial. So in the exam they might ask you the direct question based on this. If you insert a dielectric medium between the capacitor plates of a isolated capacitor, what happens to the charge? Charge remains same. So charge is, it remains same. This is for a isolated capacitor. For capacitance increases. As you can see here, the final capacitance has become epsilon r times the initial capacitance. What happens to the potential energy? Here you can see potential energy decreases. Similarly, potential also decreases and electric field also decreases. So this is the results for isolated capacitor with a dielectric medium. Now let us talk about the capacitor which is connected to the external battery. So capacitor with external battery. So the second case is capacitor which is connected to battery. So you have a capacitor and it is connected to a battery. The potential or voltage across the battery is V. So potential across this capacitor will also be V. Initial charge here is plus Q, here charge will be minus Q. Here capacitance can be written as C can be written as Q divided by V, or initial capacitance which will be equals to epsilon naught A times D. We have already said that capacitance does not depend on the charge, it does not depend on the voltage, it only depends on the medium, area and the distance between the capacitor plates. So this is the initial capacitance. Now if I talk about the initial charge I can write Q initial is equals to C times V. Here Q initial will be C initial times V. So here V is the potential across the battery. Now next thing is we can talk about the initial potential across the capacitance will be equals to V. So V initial is equals to V. Similarly, we can write the electric field. Electric field can be written as V divided by D. From electrostatics we know if electric field is constant then the potential difference can be written as minus of ED, but if you take only the magnitude it will be E times D. So the potential difference between the higher potential and lower potential can be written as, initially electric field can be written as V divided by D, and initial potential energy between the capacitor plates can be written as half into C initial into V square. So these are the formulas for initial energy, initial capacitance, initial charge, initial voltage, initial electric field and initial potential energy between the capacitor plates when there is no medium between the plates. Now we are going to insert a medium between the capacitor plates. So now we have a capacitor and we have inserted a dielectric slab and it is connected to a battery. Now let us talk about the capacitance. Final capacitance I can write epsilon naught m times A divided by D, which again can be written as epsilon r epsilon naught A divided by D, and epsilon naught A divided by D can be written as C initial. So C final will be epsilon r times C initial. So here you can see again capacitance is increasing. So here initial capacitance is epsilon naught A by D, final capacitance is epsilon r times C initial, and epsilon r is greater than 1. So capacitance has increased. Next let's talk about the potential between the capacitor plates. Initially potential difference between the capacitor plate is V, and this capacitor is connected to the battery. So the potential is not going to change. So here initial potential was V, final potential will also be V. So final potential also can be written as V. Here the potential is not changing because the capacitor is connected to a battery, and you know that battery's job is to maintain a potential difference. Now let us talk about the final charge. Final charge can be written as final capacitance into the final potential. So final capacitance is CF and final potential is V. From this I can write C final is equals to epsilon r times C initial into V, and C initial into V is equals to Q initial. So I can write this thing as epsilon r times Q initial. So here you can see that if you insert a dielectric slab between the capacitor plates, when the capacitor is connected to the battery, the charge increases, potential remains same, charge increases. Next let's talk about the electric field. Electric field can be written as V divided by D. So final electric field will also be E final is equals to V final, which is again V and distance between the plate, which we are not changing. So this is still going to be E initial. So here electric field between the capacitor plate is not changing. Now let's talk about the final, which is in final potential energy. Final potential energy can be written as 1 by 2 C final into V square. Here C final from that formula can be written as 1 by 2 epsilon r C initial times V square. This term 1 by 2 C initial into V square can be written as U initial. So I can write U final is equals to epsilon r times U initial. So from here you can see if you keep the battery connected to the capacitor, the capacitance will increase, potential and electric field will remain same, charge and potential energy of the capacitor is going to increase. So these are the two cases where we have inserted a medium between the capacitor plates. For a isolated capacitor you have to remember the result, and for a capacitor which is connected to the battery you have to remember these 5 results for charge, potential, electric field, capacitance and the potential energy. So I am going to summarize these two things in a table. So we can draw a table for both of them. One is isolated, another one is battery connected. So for isolated capacitor, it is not connected to any battery or it is not connected to any device for that matter, and here this capacitor is connected to a battery. So if you insert a dielectric slab between the capacitor plates, so you know that final capacitance will be more than initial capacitance. So C final is greater than C initial. As we know, if you insert the dielectric slab, capacitance increases. Final charge will be equals to initial charge. Final potential will be less than initial potential. Final electric field will be less than initial final electric field will be less than initial electric field, and final potential energy will be less than initial potential energy. So these are the results for the capacitor with dielectric medium. So you can write here C final formula can be written as or with the dielectric medium, if it epsilon r, then the C final can be written as epsilon naught r times epsilon naught A divided by D. Similarly, the formula for potential final can be written as sigma D divided by epsilon r into epsilon naught, and electric field formula can be written as sigma divided by epsilon naught r epsilon naught. And similarly, the final potential energy E final can be written as 1 by 2 C final 1 by Q square divided by 2 C final. As you know that C final changing, Q is remains same. From here I can write C final will again be greater than C initial, because if you insert a dielectric slab, capacitance increases. Final charge will be greater than initial charge. Final potential and initial potential will be same. Final electric field and initial electric field will be equal, and final potential energy will be greater than initial potential energy. Here again final potential can be final capacitance can be written as epsilon r final charge can be written as epsilon r times Q initial. So here capacitance increases, charge also increases, and final potential energy can be written as epsilon r times U initial. So these three quantities will increase while final potential and electric field will remain same. So potential and electric field for a battery connected capacitor remains constant, while for a isolated capacitor charge remains constant. So with this, the capacitors, parallel plate capacitor discussion and all the formulas are completed. In the next class we are going to do circuit problems. In the circuit problems we need all these formulas. Till now from this section which I have covered, only the formula based questions are possible, where they will give you the values of the quantities and you have to just recall the formula and put the values in the formula and you will get the answer. But from the next class onwards, where we are going to start the circuit problems involving the capacitor and batteries, there you need to know the formulas from the capacitor also, and you have to know the formulas from current electricity. So my advice to you is you have to revise all the three chapters: electrostatics, current electricity, and the formulas for capacitor. Parallel plate capacitor is most important topic in capacitors. For spherical capacitor you just need to remember the formulas. So in the next class we are going to talk about the circuit problems which involves capacitor and battery. With this I am going to stop. My advice to you, keep on revising these things, because you are going to get confused between these two, and there are lot of formulas in this chapter which have all the quantities are sigma and epsilon naught. So my advice, again revise again and again, and I will see you in the next class. Thank you.